Here we are live again on Saturday, October 26th, Zoom Live, and we'll go for another round. So we're just chit-chatting here and seeing how everybody's doing. Who wants to jump in first? Susan, Judith, Sheila, sorry, Elaine, Christine, Steve, Inga.
Well, I'll jump in.
Go for it.
Okay, so I was just talking to Steve and Inga about where I'm at. So I did 32 days in September. And yeah, ever since then, I've been really working to get on a level. And it's been a real challenge.
Yeah, food
Yeah.
is the challenge. Fasting's not the challenge. Food is where everybody goes cuckoo and goes and kill themselves. We see it all the time, but we really have to gain the love for fasting more than eating. And not, we're not telling anybody to ever stop eating, but we have to find that balance because, as we know, once you start cleaning out, going back to 7 days a week eating is just it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's ludicrous. So continue.
Okay, you said something really great on the Wednesday Facebook Live. You said to somebody, like, learn to really love the grape juice, this person who was throwing up.
Right.
And so since then, I've started like partially freezing it, so it's like a slushy. And I just love it that way. So that's helping. Little
And
trick.
you like it.
Yeah.
In the winters, I like warming it up. Drink it warm. Actually, I bring it to a boil. I put a few herbs in it and enjoy it that way, like a warm tea as the cool weather's moving in. But I like it cold. I like it warm. I like it room temperature. I don't care. If you don't enjoy all aspects of what you're doing, you're not going to continue, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like food, we enjoy it. We enjoy eating, but we don't enjoy the after effects. But we continue to do it, and we continue to do it, and we continue to do it, right? So that's why we're just playing around with two scenarios and see how we can find that balance. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be different for everybody, and you're going to go through phases. You're going to have maybe a few years going beautiful, and then all of a sudden you get some challenges coming up in life. And there's going to be different challenges with that again. And it's always going to be cycles and challenges. And this is the beauty. It's never going to be the same. It's never going to be smooth sailing. You're never going to, say, okay, I've got it mastered. Maybe for a while, and then some new challenges come. So who cares? What are we going to do? We're going to quit? Absolutely not. We're going to continue and keep going because we have the understanding. And we know that you're never going to be able to have that feeling, that beautiful, blissful feeling when you're in a natural fasting state, eating whatever diet. I don't care what diet it is. It's not. There's just you can't put the two together. So we make the best we can and find a place where, some people. There's going to be very few people are going to be able to really stay with a clean, basically fruitarian type of diet and some greens a little bit. Very few will do that. So, if we're going to go indulging in some of the cooked stuff and everything, we're going to have to be careful with that because that's where it gets really addictive. Because I know when I was on that 100% raw stunt that I did for almost a decade, when you stay on that and you don't move out of it, you can stay on it. But, back then, teaching everybody about raw foods and stuff, there wasn't many people that could do it. You just have to have that clear-cut focus to do and remain on it, and you will be able to do it. But my secret was always fasting, right? I never stopped fasting. 3 decades, that was cookie cutter, every season change, and many in between those, always. No matter how clean I ate, I came to the point where my body said, okay, time to fast. And we continue, right? Like I said, I wouldn't be here if I didn't fast. I honestly believe I'd be dead. many times over. Fasting is what kept me going. My body does not handle the eating process anymore. No matter how much I love it, the flavors, the taste, the aromas, the social gathering is really much the biggest thing for, when you're with people. Just the body is just not happy with any diet anymore. I have to, I accept it, you know what I mean? When I do it, it's okay, I know what to do. I clean up. You just cannot go crazy and go overboard, especially if you're doing a long digestive vacation, which at this time we're because of what we've seen, it's best that people start slow. I just was ignorant on how toxic people really are, how obstructed, toxic, whatever you want to use, doesn't matter. But we're at a level in this stage of humanity that we're plugged up physically, mentally, emotionally. And, look what's out there. So we have to look at that picture and say, most people are not going to be able to shift from that lifestyle of, eating 7 days a week, anything and everything, and come into a place of total bliss. They're just not going to be able to emotionally make that switch very easily. And that's okay. So we do it, prudently. Start on a couple days a week, do that for a few months, 5, 6, 7 months. And then if you're ready to take on a longer digestive vacation, be ready for the aftermath of when you start eating again, because it's going to be another shift. I just was listening to Wim Hof. I love the guy because he's showing everybody that everything's freaking possible. If any of you know who he is, the Iceman. And he was talking about an adventure that he set out to do. Some mountain in Africa, I think it was. It was with people that had arthritis, heart disease, cancers, all kinds of whatever diseases. And he set out a thing that they were going to climb this mountain in shorts in 3 days. And they got so much resistance. You're crazy. It's dangerous. People are going to blah, 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 blah. All the reasons of why it's not possible, right? So they get there, and the same thing. The people from there tell them, you're crazy. It's not going to be possible, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what they did it anyway. And they didn't do it in 3 days. They did it in 2 days. But then he said, you get into that state, right? You're in a fasting state, similar. You get into that state where, whoa. Then he said, then you got to come down. And that's the hard part. No difference in what we're doing here. So it's an exact same correlation to what he was saying, with what we're doing in the fasting lifestyle. And this is where people, they don't do their homework to be ready to come down off the mountain, right? You're going to have to come down. You can't stay on the mountain forever. Well, maybe you can, because everything's possible. But realistically, guys, right?
I was just going to say, Gina, you can stay on the mountain. You can go up higher, even in the mountain, into the other. Yeah, sorry, I had to put that.
Yeah, keep going to the bigger mountains. But I'm just saying, realistically, we're going to have those valleys and so on and so forth. So this is what it's all about. And, without staying connected with the group, I don't see people going to be able to do it long term. I just don't see it. It's not going to happen. Because you're living out there, and out there, fasting is not supported. It's actually shunned upon, and all kinds of things, we lost our dear friend, and, the family moved in, and nothing to do with fasting, right? Not going to happen. So you're up against a huge wall. And when I look back at our dear friend Marin, who's a mass fast superhero, one of the mass fast superhero, and I look at the structure of his life, orphan, no family, didn't have anybody to put him down, focused, got it done. Got it done. Now, I can assure every single one of us who's had family involved has some kind of challenge, right? Everybody's shaking their head. Yeah, for sure, right? He didn't have those challenges. So, when I look back, when I was doing the raw food thing, I was on my own. Family went to see him once in a while. See you later. Wasn't part of my daily thing. It was much easier emotionally, mentally in that sense. And, we've seen people, part ways with family members or partners and so on and so forth because of fasting, because they want to go to a direction to basically find balance and heal themselves. And there's so much resistance, and that resistance is not going to be able to allow them to fulfill what they want to do in life. So they have to move on, right? And, I've seen one too many times that family moved in, the people are no longer here. They forcefully persuaded them to go to the white jacket scenario. And it is what it is. So we have to accept it all, because this is the reality of what we're facing with in today's world. And I can see fasting is going to be growing more and more and more. Just as we've seen vegetarianism grow, veganism grow, raw foodism grow, and now fasting is becoming a popular thing, but it's a very misunderstood thing. 3 days, you're going to completely regenerate and restore your lymphatic system. Statements like that are being made, about fasting. It's totally nonsense. Yeah, you're going to improve in 3 days for sure. But what are you going to do after your fast? So that's where we're at. Anyway, anybody can jump in anytime.
Oh, Gino, I like that you said that, there's no real pattern. I think I had this story going in my head. It's not true that every time I did a longer fast, it would get easier coming off.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this past one was by far the hardest.
Okay.
The cravings just hit me oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I'm obsessed, and that hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
So it must be a new layer of obstruction coming up or something.
Yeah, like I said, it'll go in phases where sometimes it'll seem more difficult than others. Every fast will be unique and different. There's never two fasts that are going to be the same. But we keep going because, the challenges. Okay, I'm ready for these challenges, and I accept them. And this one's a little more difficult. It's okay. I'll get stronger. Okay, I'll get stronger and stronger with each one of these challenges. I always look at the positive, because the negative and the complaining, we can do that all day long, right?
Yeah.
And we see, some people doing that, and that's all they do is complain, right? Okay, so we can sit here and all complain, right?
No.
Is that gonna make you continue to go on this journey? Absolutely not. It's gonna put fear into people. Yeah. Fear. So focus on the beauty, because there's just a lot of beauty, a lot of miraculous beauty that's happened in the fasting realms, and that's what we got to keep focusing on, because we're all going to have challenges. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
I just wanted to say something to Elaine. I love you, Elaine. It was so doing all your drives on the full moon, and so many people are. Thank you so much. I just want to say most of the challenges, love you. Most of the challenges that I've always had, cravings and everything like that, I always automatically, the soul just did it for me, because you know how the soul just guides you when you're on autopilot. Always took me to the realms, Elaine. It just always, I know it's very hard for people to understand how that all works, but most of my resolution on anything that I wanted to get answers to, or help build strength here on this, while we're in the matter world, was always, I got realizations in the realms, and I don't know why, but somehow the soul has guided me to that, to really, really help me. One is it helps you with visualization. 2, it helps you to build the confidence to really believe what you're doing, because sometimes when you do come back in this matter world, and you've got, like what Gino said, you've got your family, you've got your friends, you've got all this going on in the external, but you know what really the truth, when you know this stuff, when you know it, but when you come back into this world and there's all your friends and family are doing something different, you can get confused, and the binging stuff, the cravings and all that, I think it can be quite easily resolved in a way. For me personally, it has, by being in the realms. I remember, I can only talk about the 2 months that I had my break, and as Gino said, people got to do their homework and work out, maybe have shorter breaks in between or something like that to find their balance. But I really hear you, and that's just one thing I did that just probably helped me the most. I would say, if someone, reflecting back on what I did, because I never really understood what was happening to me, but that was one I did. So I lived in the realms more than I live in this place, if you know what I mean, because this place to me is the dreamland, where the realm seems to be the place where the real truth is, and I don't know how people get to that situation, because it's really, really tough here in the matter world to deal through it with the mind, and even the body, if the body's still obstructed and all that sort of stuff. But I hope that helps you. I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you so much. It definitely helps so much. Really working on the whole changing my lifestyle, like from A to Z completely. And that includes, I guess my definition of living in the realms would be a lot more meditation and meditative practices.
Mm-hmm.
And it is helping quite a bit. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We must learn to love consciously focusing on all the other energy sources, because if we don't, it's going to be difficult. You're not going to be able to sustain yourself. We continuously have to interact with all these energy sources. Even though we're doing it unconsciously, we have to bring it forth in the conscious mind. And when we go put the time aside in meditation and stuff like that, it's amazing how much you can enhance and let these energies flow through you. Because food is not an energy source. I think a lot of you that have gone on these long digestive vacations understand that. It's not an energy source, especially when you come off and you start eating. You go, wow, this is not what food used to feel like, because your whole being is opening up to the fields, and it feels much better interacting with fields and actual matter. So we continuously work at it over and over and over, and we learn to master the journey little by little. It's like for most people, you start getting anything more than 5 days a week of eating is way too much already. For some people, maybe 4 days a week. For some people, maybe 3 days a week. Everybody's going to be different. But, coming from, let's say, like a sad diet, you're going to go into eating only 2-3 days a week. It's not going to likely be sustainable. It's going to have to do it gradually and slowly. I'm a big advocate of long digestive vacations. It's just that most people should not jump into a long digestive vacation. Let's put it that way, because they're not ready for what comes after, and they don't prepare themselves. They just look at all the magic that happens within that, fasting time and a few months later, and they don't pay attention to all the challenges people have, and they think, oh yeah, I won't have these problems or whatever. Just not doing their homework and not coming to the reality. But everybody's going to go through challenges, little, whatever. It's there for all of us. Who do we have? We have some new people here. Lou and Bernie. Hello, David, Jeanette, Charlotte, Joyd. Awesome. We have and John. John just flew in. He just landed.
Do you want me to talk? Do you want me to say something, Gino? Or do people want me to talk?
Talk.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that,
And,
is that Ranjit? Ranjit, is that you?
yeah, John. How you going, brother? How you going?
Good, just messing with you. Talk away.
Walk away. I mean, obviously I'm in a different level, right, Gina? So I want to make that clear for people so I don't go too crazy, you know what I mean? Because I'm in a different way of thinking, you know, sort of thing. I think from a different perspective. But one of the things I notice is that when you keep releasing and clearing stuff out, so when you keep detaching from emotions and all the emotions of this world here, that we've been programmed to have these emotions here in this planet, when you keep releasing, you get so clean and you're clear of emotions, and you get more very, very focused. You become very, very focused about what you really want. You end up actually experiencing different emotions that come through, emotions that you actually haven't really probably ever felt before, or you may have glimpses of it when you were a child a little bit. And I'm going through a little bit of that at the moment, where I'm noticing these different I call them electrical motions, because everything's electricity, right? Everything's just we're just a power source. We're just electrical, you know, and we're not, you know, we are not what our emotions are. Okay. And it's also about releasing not just the yucky emotions that people call, or the shadow emotions that people call, but it's actually also releasing the higher emotions as well. So when you experience things such as joy, bliss, and all those beautiful experiences that you want, you actually have to release all those as well. You can't attach to when you get in the, as you call it, the art of subtraction, Gino.
Yeah.
Less is more. You become into a habit of a releaser. So you continually, anything thought, or, you know, even like with you, Elaine, like even the binging thoughts that come in, they're just all emotional attachments to something. You know, it's not about the binging. It's not really about the physical stuff that's going on. It's really about the emotional attachment that you have with the binging, or the emotional attachment that you have with a craving, or the emotional you have, you know, these emotions that come up to the surface, right? So when you're feeling, you know, when you're fasting and you're eating, you're doing that balance, well, what you're doing, you're actually balancing emotions as well, because everything is coming up to the surface all the time. But what we do as humans is, because we want to understand everything in our mind, or what's going on, and analysing this, go read this book, or go follow this group, or go do this, and we get caught up in different realms and all this sort of stuff. All that's happening is that you're getting entrapped, because what we've been programmed to do so much and so often is through our schooling systems and systems like that, is that we want to know everything and understand everything. So we get caught, we get a thought, then we get emotion, then we get entrapped into that emotion, and we can be entrapped in that emotion space and into that vortex for years and years and years, and even with fasting as well. But the key thing is that when you separate the emotion to what's actually you're attaching itself from, you look at the emotion and you separate it, and then you go through a process of what's called releasing it in a form. But when you actually release that emotion, you're not actually releasing that emotion just because it's the food attachment. You're actually releasing that emotion from everything in your life. It's everything that actually ripple affects everything else that's in your life. And when you release that through you and your body, not only are you releasing it for yourself, you're actually releasing it in the consciousness and in the world, and you're also releasing it through the people that you're very, very fieldly connected to. So including your ancestors, including the people that you love and care about that are right around near you. When you release something like that, you've got to really get your mind and your shit out of the road, because all you're talking about is you. You're talking about your own ego. You're talking about your own mind, intellect. You're actually selfish in a way by holding on to that emotion, because what you're doing, you're actually embodying it, and you're going into a process of, this is woe me story, right? This is because I'm having this fear, I'm having this emotion about shame and guilt, because when I was a child, this is what my mum and dad did to me, and this has been reoccurring all through my life. It always keeps coming up. It's only because you're attached to that emotion, and when you attach to that emotion, that magnetic pull and attraction still keeps coming back, because it hasn't been fully released, and that's not everybody's fault or anything. So when you go, to me, it's really about releasing the attached emotions, okay? And when you become into a habit where emotion comes up, okay, sometimes you feel it and you want to go into it. Yeah, okay, that's really nice. Oh, it's a really nice place to be, and your ego gets involved. And that's what it is. It's just your shit, really, at the end of the day. You're just caught up in it. And it's so reactive that you don't realise you're caught up in a spiral outward vortex of it all, that you need to let it go. It's come up for a reason in your life, and this is what fasting does, is that when we fast and we're cleaning out, all these emotions are coming up to be released. That's all it is. And you should honour that. Absolutely 100% being grace and gratitude, every single emotion that comes up, good, bad or different, whatever you want to label it, whatever it is, you should be absolutely in complete 100% honour and thank you. Get on your knees and thank the divine that actually really come up for you, because you're going to become freer, and you're actually going to allow people around you to become freer as well. So it doesn't matter what it is. People can call it shadow, they can call it dark, they can call it whatever they freaking well like. All it is at the end of the day, it's a feeling state. It's an emotion that's not serving the purpose of who you want to be, because you're so far ahead in the other place where you want your freedom and your liberation. You see that freedom and liberation there, but you're caught back down here. But you need to honour the space and the journey while you're going through releasing all that you become clearer and much more visual and all this stuff. And then half the stuff that we're talking about, if you realise this, we don't even have to talk about it. We really don't. We can really talk about the stuff that we really need to talk about. But you need to release, and you need to become an artist in releasing, or the art of subtraction. And then as you go through the lower emotions and everything, all these emotions that come up, you end up releasing the higher ones as well. So you actually end up releasing joy and love and bliss. They all start to flow through your body, because those higher emotions, we need to release that out into the atmosphere as much as we possibly can. But as you're releasing, you start to experience other ecstatic, greater, higher electrical forces and emotions and feeling states that start to flow through your body. So you start experiencing emotions that you wouldn't even know that even existed. You start to experience another space, which is so beautiful. But however, if you're going to be experiencing all those spaces up there, don't think all the shit and everything, that every karmic thing or ancestral thing that's in your body, all that stuff is not going to come up to the surface. That stuff has to come up to the surface in order to be released for whatever reason that it needs to be released, so you can experience the other type of emotions, and that's which is absolutely incredible. And those emotions and feeling states are usually a lot higher, and they're the ones that really pull you through. But you get trapped because this matter world, this dream state here, is can be very confusing because of the programmed mind, and you want to fit in, you want to belong, you want to, all this sort of stuff to be purposeful here on this planet. And that's when Gina was saying it's so important to stay connected. Like, honestly, to stay in the group, stay connected, build some relationships in this group, really know what's going on with this, if you want to stay in the natural state as much as possible, because you will feel all this. There's absolutely no doubt about it in my mind that you go through this, especially if you want to have the human experience, not like live in a cave on the mountains in the Himalayas, like forever. We experience so much on this planet in this time and place compared to any other generation, I think. There's so much at us completely all the time, like everything, people, places, information, all that sort of stuff. And all you're doing is just so much that you get connected and you can get attached to. You just got to keep releasing it, and go to the core thing. And this is what I do now. I go to the core thing. Every time I have a thought, even if it's any thought it is, behind the thought is the empty space, and behind the empty space is the creation. That's all it is. Everything else is just limitless realms of absolute bullshit and crap that goes on. We get entrapped emotionally. Marketing is the biggest thing. They emotionally trap you, right? With colours and whatever they do. You get suckered in big time. You've been trained consumer. So you get suckered into all that emotional stuff that goes on. And then you're going through this fasting thing, and you're having binges, or you're having this, and this is happening, and all these freaking emotions are coming up to the surface. How much have you been marketed to since you're a freaking baby? The first thing you see the windy thing that comes, when you're in your cot and that, like all that is just complete emotional attachment, colours and sounds and all that sort of stuff. But when you release it, or when you go back to the nothing place, is the only place that you can experience what's really true. But when you're releasing all these emotions, you feel these new ones, and you also have to let them flow through as well, that they are just more incredible. Like, you'll never go, that's just when you say, Gino, you can't go back, because the magnetic pull is so strong to the empty space that you can never go back. So that's where I'm at this moment. I'm in this space of where
Flintstone.
Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
awesome. Flintstone vitamins. I remember, as kids, watching the commercials, because you're watching the cartoons and everything. We had to have Flintstone vitamins. You think the parents give a shit about Flintstone vitamins? But guess what? We ended up getting Flintstone vitamins. Why? Because you start nagging the parents. So does marketing work? You freaking right. Like, tap into these huge marketed retweet things again. People want to go to these places and have their lives changed. It'll be a life-changing experience for sure. But what are you going to do when you go home? And then they come back home. Now, you have to do the work. They have to. If any of these things have any validity, there's going to be work you have to do every single day for the rest of your life. So, no, and then they'll go to another one, and then they go to another one, and then they go to another one. And if they're not doing their work, what's going to happen? Nothing, not much. So, this is the thing about, we talked about earlier, you mentioned when the soul goes in autopilot, that is really where the miraculous things happen, where no thought process is needed. This is, and I've found on myself, and many others can agree, that it happens when you're deep in that fasting natural state. It's just, whoa, all the magic starts happening. The emotions start coming to the surface. We may not like them, but that's where we see the transformations and we get into these blissful states. It's when it's in autopilot. When we're eating, I don't feel that happen at all in my being. There's people who claim they can get in those states and they're eating anything and everything. Okay, it's fine and wonderful. I'm not saying it's not possible, but what I've seen in this last 3 decades, in a fasting state, every single person can get into that state. You just got to practice fasting and keep it part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. I mean, honestly, like even 2 days a week, you'll feel way better than no days a week, or 3 days a week or 4 days a week, you start feeling it. 5 days a week, you feel it even more. So I would definitely, it's a lifestyle. If you do a long fast and you are planning to eat in the future, I say don't do that, because you're going to fall on your face. Many of us have, and it is not fun. It's very challenging to eat clean after a long fast. It's very challenging. Many of us know, right? Mm-hmm.
Emotions.
Yeah. Steve, yes. Yeah, we have been there. Elaine, Scott, many of us. Angelica, you mentioned how challenging. John, all of us have been there. David, Suzanne, yeah, of course. Sheila, I think too, yeah. Inga, yeah, you mentioned it's also challenging eating after a long fast.
Judith, David, everybody, I can guarantee.
Yeah,
John.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's about eating clean, and when you eat and fasting as a lifestyle, you will enjoy clean food way more when fasting is part of your life. You will not look forward for a pizza. You look forward for a nice fruit, a ripe fruit, and absolutely delicious salad, and go crazy with your fruits and vegetables. I mean, in terms of like imagination, buy the best of the best. You're gonna be fasting, so you're saving money. So you're not eating every day. So the more you fast, the more you save. And when you eat the best food of the kings. Like eat the best food you can eat, and definitely the best quality fruits and vegetables.
I found black, fresh, ripe Olives from Italy. First time I've seen them here. I love them if you're an olive lover. You know, tree ripened.
No oil, no salt, nothing on them. Fresh.
Just fresh, ripe olives.
They're not even dry. They're dry. Right?
No, they'll go dry if you leave them out. But that's over here. I don't remember ever seeing them here. When I was in Italy, I enjoyed them, but not here. So.
And do they sell them for people to pickle them?
I guess I don't know what people do with them. Some people cook them. But I like them like that. If you like olives, people think is high fat. It's not really a high fat. It's about 20% fat in olives. It's the seed where all the oil comes from. In all plants, it's the seed.
Yeah, but it's still a little bit oily. If you touch olives, 20%. No oil, 20%.
20%, plus or minus, depending on the variety. Avocado is 70. Durian is 30, I believe. Coconut, not sure. It's pretty high coconut as well. But you gotta enjoy stuff.
It's a nut.
Do they come cured before eating? No. You can eat them straight, ripened from the tree. It's a very strong flavor. You have to be an olive lover to like them.
Like an astringent?
Not everybody likes them. Yeah, it's astringent. If you go in Arnold Ehret's book, I think olive is one of the top mucus dissolver foods, according to the table he had in his book. But anyway, fasting is where we want to be. Eating is wonderful. Let's enjoy it and let's find the best. But the fasting state is really
Hello?
beautiful place. Hello, Susan.
Hi. I just wanted to say something. Thank you, Ranjit. Oh my gosh. That is so what I needed to hear. I have had the ugliest emotions lately and I didn't even think about them. Well, it's because you have to release them. Hello? Wow. I mean, I am emotional now because that just hit me. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Susan, you've been through quite a life cycle. And,
I have.
As I said in the post, everything you've gone through is, I can say with confidence, 100% drug related.
Oh, yeah. I went to a shaman a while back who could have sworn that I was on something. She said, you have the feel of someone who's on drugs. Yeah. And I was like, that's because I think I'm releasing them.
Yep.
But and
you see how dangerous these things can be.
Oh my gosh.
When you haven't taken them for a while, when you start releasing them. And this is very few people understand this. They got to be released. And it's not nice, but you have to have the understanding that this is going to happen more than likely, and you have to be prepared to use the tools to allow them to release them safely and effectively.
Right.
Because they can be dangerous.
Thank you, Gino. Thank you so much for your help. Oh my gosh.
People are looking at your scenario and saying, look what fasting's done to you. Fasting's trying to solve this problem for you. It's nothing to do with the fasting. Is what you've done the past whatever decades, and that's why there's the ignorant big time on fasting out there, because people go into a situation like this and they'll never fast again. They get scared. They run in between their tail between their legs because they just don't want to understand and don't do their homework of what fasting is and how it works and so on and so forth. Arnold Ehret talked a little bit about himself, but once you start going through these things and you go, oh my goodness gracious, this is the way it works. You can see it because the mirrors of truth, the answers come out in plain sight. You can't deny it because you start getting the same feelings as when you were taking the drug a lot of the times. You go, what the hell? You start tasting things. Tasting things that you haven't tasted in many, many years as they're being released, and you're going, man, I haven't eaten that stuff in about 20 years, and I'm starting to taste it and stuff like that. So once you have this knowledge and you understand it, and you have tools available to use, what happens when you get into these states? Sometimes your mind goes blank, so you need to go over start reading again. Okay. This is what I need to do. Because your mind sometimes will go blank when you're in these states. But this is where a support system, oh, yeah, I've experienced that. This helped me, this helped me, this helped me, this tool, that tool, that tool,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. Always, we know, number one, an enema breath work. That's like a broken record.
By the way, I do have the beautiful feelings too. Like today, I just had a beautiful day. I went hiking and dry fast. I was dry fasting. So, it was just amazing day. Amazing.
And that's what we focus on.
Yes.
Yeah, you went through quite an ordeal. You ended up passed out, and then you end up in a hospital.
Right.
I don't know exactly, but it's not fun. No.
No.
But
No. But it all happened for a reason. Just needed to be part of my process.
back off, slow down, use the tools.
Yes.
Use
Okay.
the tools. So
I am.
I had to go through with my mother, watching her go through seizures, getting her off all that crap for months, sleepless nights for months, still on the page every day. And I'm, taking care of my mother, getting her off this crap. She's not going to fast. So I'm using herbs and I'm doing the best I can in that situation. Seizure free is about 14 months now. Doctors saying, oh yeah, well, blah, 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 blah. They haven't gone through studies and all that. I don't give two craps about studies. You're not having seizures anymore. You can keep your freaking studies. It's like they can't see anything. Some people. It's just like, okay, that's your reality. My reality is the limitless realms where everything's possible. So it's awesome, right? It's awesome.
Can I share something too?
Of course, my dear.
As I have realized, I see opposite. We talk lies. For me, there is no lies. We learned
Of course.
something and we teach farther out. That's as simple as that. And as you see now, anywhere actually we find something good, we just want more. That is with absolutely everything. Even fasting, as you can see, somebody more. It's actually less everything. Challenges comes up, face them. Don't push them away. Don't escape them. Take time, deep breath, face them. When we face them, we allow that energy, or say you call stagnation, go through. Go free. And you allow yourself to come natural. Because we are nature. We are natural beings. And that is, actually, we don't need to learn anything. We need let go anything we know. We know way too much. Just let go. Let everything come to balance. And see, Gino, the deepest gratitude will always, until my last day, is going to be to both of you. For me, a message is, no idea why is that common. I have said that before as well. Eating is as natural as fasting. And see, rather for me to just jump away from the groove, because here is more fasting and less eating. In my unfoldedness, eating is as natural as fasting, and it's not necessarily clean or dirty, because I don't have these sensations at all in my body. But for me is, as I say, rather than push away and run away, face that challenge, why is this being shown to me? And let the process unfold and just let it go, let it be. You know, as I say, I have so much to give without looking for anything in return. Just shine, be. See, we love we just think we need to tell other people more, more, more. Less, less, less. Be shyness, be light, be example. That's all we need to be.
Less is more.
Less, less, less. Everything, even fasting.
For some, yeah, they're gonna have to, take it easy. That's can't we can't push ourselves. You gotta allow the process of change to take place and just love every moment of it. Like we say, we love eating, but we love fasting way more. That's some people love eating more. Okay, well, you love eating more. In all this time, I've not seen eating. I've only seen eating get people so far with food, whatever diets and so on and so forth. We got to get into the art of subtraction, where we get that soul into autopilot. That's the beauty, where I see the beauty happening. Right?
Yes, I agree maybe that, but at the end of the day, life is freedom, life is enjoyment. Okay, sadness as well, because it's both sides, but we live around loved ones and we want to feel good rather than, when we, yourself, when we pushing ourselves. So it's so hard to face the loved ones, the challenges. It's how to balance that out. It's so important because we want to feel good here and now. We want to be around loved ones and feel good, and they feel good. It just, for me, it's just so simple. I'm not like, it's not everyone can see that way,
Yeah.
Life is for me. But like when we fast, we feel good. But then when we eat, we feel so bad because as you were talking yourself, we cannot maintain on just fruits or just vegetables because we want sense to numb the state, or we not, and then we feel really bad and down. But balance that out when you are feel from both and without having that challenge. And if you have that slice of toast, and you will feel heavier, but you will feel good as well. Just it's a master, like how we master that journey to feel good in both. As you can see on this beautiful group, is a big number, but there is so little maintained. And it's way more simple than we ever can imagine. And we will love you forever. There is in me, no doubt, you will always gonna be with me. You like, by you and Rana creating this group, it allowed me open, and I see, like I sense and I see, and the openness is opposite what millions and millions of people see. And I don't say that is challenge anymore. I allow it come through me and just be absorber, or what's the word, witnessing. And just, it's simple, it's easy. Was driving home tonight at 11 o'clock, and the pure joy and just the happiness. It's just like like a bird.
Yeah, we don't want to associate eating as being bad or negative or anything. I love eating. It's just we have to, be prudent, be careful, especially when we're doing long digestive vacations. These are all the sensations and feelings and so on are part of the journey, and we embrace them all. Even we're feeling a bit heavy and everything. We're going to embrace that. Okay, this is fine because we know what to do to release that feeling, and that's the key to find that balance between the two. Be a juggling act, but it's awesome.
Hey, Gino, thanks for that, Inga. I always love when you speak. Thank you so much. You know what I call myself now? I call myself field strength attractor. All I'm ever doing is always finding ways. My whole day, like I always say to people, you need to spend time with me. My whole day is always focusing on how to create more field strength. Always. And I can only compare how I feel like being in the natural state where I'm full MFS. I can only speak from my perspective, but I find those magnetic field strengths just automatically just get attracted to you. It's actually quite effortless in a way. And your emotions are obviously much more balanced when you're in this state as well. And I just ever looking forward to which tree I'm going to hug, and which I've got a relationship with a tree going on now. And you fall into deep meditation a lot easier. It's effortless when you fall into meditation. It just happens. Like, as you know, I only sleep probably 2.5 to 3 hours a night, Gino. It's been going on for ever since, I think it's been since June or something like that, since that season change I had. And the sleep was really decreasing. So I don't get caught up, I'm only having 3 hours sleep and blah, blah, blah. Like, I need to have more sleep. If the sleep is needed, it will happen, right? But what I find is during the day you have 30 or 20 minutes where you just fall in deep meditation and you're actually deeply rested. You get deeply rested. And I'm forever just always looking to increase field strength. And I think because you do that, the spiral inward just continues to go spiral inward, and you get more connected to what's really going on. So the rest of the stuff that's going on, like what Inga even says, truly doesn't really matter at the end of the day. When you're in the natural state and you're sort of the electricity is flowing through your body, it's you're just always looking for field strength. That's my new job, is field strength and releasing. That's about it. When you break it down to the simplicity of it, it's the
You're a field manager. You're a field manager, Ranjit.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, field manager, because when you get when you're really high, you got to try to learn to manage to bring it down. Yeah, it's true. That's a bit of fun.
Yeah, in this realm, eating is natural. Look around, right? And it seems to be all natural. In the limitless realms, there's no such thing as eating. It's field interaction.
We're eating. It's just different.
Yeah.
We're eating food. We're doing everything they're doing. It's just a different way of doing it now. A little upgraded.
See, these are tree ripened olives.
Looks like a grape.
Yep,
Yeah, it does.
but they're olives.
I thought they were grapes. I was.
These are a rare find here, man. I wish you guys can taste them because they're very, if you're an olive lover, you'll appreciate them.
Leave some for me next week.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All the olives, you know how they're all cured with this, that, and the other thing, salts and chemicals and oils. And this is straight off the tree. And then if you let them dry, they get even stronger the flavor. Anyway, let's continue. While we look at these olives.
I know Steve's got something to say. What you doing, Steve?
Oh, doing well. Doing well. Yeah, feel good today. Best I felt in 3 weeks.
Amazing.
I broke the 30 days 3 weeks ago, and I just immediately feel like crap. I mean, the minute I start eating it, just everything just everything stops. I mean, almost comes to a dead stop. And
It's tough.
yeah, it's tough.
So we have to learn how to enjoy.
Yeah.
We have to learn how to enjoy the food, to make peace with it.
Yeah.
Because it's not healthy for us to feel extremely. So you're learning. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot learning with fasting, eating. There's a lot of learning. You will listen to your body more. Okay, this food is a little bit too heavy. Next week, I'm not going to do that, or whatever. Next time I eat, I'm not going to do that. Keep adjusting. Always break with fruits. If you eat one food and it's not satisfying, okay, don't buy it again next time. So you have to learn how to eat again properly.
Yeah.
and fast so that you feel great, and then eat and fast and eat and just make peace with everything and enjoy every little part. I totally understand, I understand, but we have to find this balance. We just have to find our joy with food, because we're not ready to give it up. We love food.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's okay.
I'm feeling drawn to liquid. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's okay. But,
It's
but
okay.
honestly, for now, love food.
When
I
you
tell you, go for liquid.
when you go through that state of eating, Steve, and you're feeling, oh man, shift it. Say, I feel freaking amazing, no matter what the body's saying. Shift it.
We have
Shift it.
like it takes a day or half, even less than a day. Wake up in the morning, wash your colon, get back on a fast, and you feel amazing again. It really doesn't take that long.
Oh no, I mean, I started yesterday. I feel great today.
There you go. You see? So you are in total control.
I made it. I mean, it's just everything is just like poof, right back up,
Yeah. Well,
But
I think-
again, I'm going to say for me, and I'm not saying that I'm special. But there are circumstances with the alcoholism. I've been trained for 23 years that it's abstinence.
Mm.
There's no balance for me in that.
I
In
understand.
that. So it's hard. It's been extremely difficult to break that mindset of abstinence.
No, you know what? It happens to me too, and I didn't go through the alcohol. Trust me. Many times I thought, that's it, liquidarian, because I don't feel amazing. Sometimes after I break my fast, keep it cleaner. Your eating window, keep it within 3 hours, so you don't do a lot of burden on the body. Keep it within 3 hours. Everybody, I don't care, even if they eat, in my opinion, on the master fast lifestyle, if they eat 6 days a week, I would say when you eat within 3 hours, so that you have, you'll enjoy your food more when you fast. We know that.
I don't even enjoy it. I don't even enjoy it. I don't even enjoy it. I just simply don't do it. I don't enjoy eating at all anymore.
Yeah, for some of us, we're going to move toward more and more liquids, and that's the way it's going to happen for some of us.
Yeah.
That's okay too, right?
Whatever you do it with love. With love for
Oh yeah, no, it's
love for fasting.
as we were talking in the beginning. It's just the journey. It's just my journey. That's all.
Yeah, I know. But I
Steve,
I don't feel bad about anything.
Steve, are you saying you have cravings for alcohol?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
Not gone from day one. Never had a craving.
what he's saying
Right.
is that he relates it.
No, but I've been going to AA meetings since I stopped drinking, and that whole, it's all about abstinence first and foremost.
But somebody created that system, right?
Yes.
That's the belief system and it works, right? It works.
It works very well.
Okay, but it's still a belief system, right?
It is. You're
So
right.
We're in a different realm here with unlimited possibilities, limitless possibilities. So I understand where you're
Well,
coming.
it's just challenging because of that programming. It's just been extremely challenging.
It's tough.
Steve, I honestly, I have to say, I used to always think, many times, not always, that I want to go liquidarian, because I feel better not eating. But I feel like it's almost like an honestly, almost like an extreme change. And I am not really ready. I'm not really sure I'm ready for it. I don't believe I'm ready for it. I still want to love enjoying food. You know, I enjoy food. I love sometimes maybe preparing it, washing it, smelling it. So why give it up completely? You love growing it. You know, it's all
Yeah.
about food. It's around food, which is beautiful. But I decided that's it. Whenever I have this kind of extreme way of thinking, I will sit down with myself and say, no, it's okay. Yeah, okay, this food didn't feel good inside, or so next time we want to do something else that feels better. So we have to let's be a little bit more gentle. I feel it's healthier.
Yeah.
I feel it's
Oh,
healthier.
I agree. The extreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve,
Yes, sir.
are you still going to meetings?
Yes, sir.
How are you going to get out of the verbiage of it if you're still doing it? Like, how are you going to get above
Because
that?
because
How are you
all
gonna
I
get
know,
above it?
all I know is my experience.
Right, I
My
got you.
experience
Well,
with it is everybody that's left the rooms and left the AA have
Steve,
gone
you've only
back.
been in one room for a long time. There's other rooms. You know, why don't you replace that room with an updated one, just like you're doing with MFS, you know?
And what if I'm wrong? My life depends on it.
Yeah.
All of our lives,
What if I'm wrong?
MFS, that's what MFS is. I mean, if you don't have the faith to let go of a room in a material world, how are you going to heal in
But
this one?
we're all here in the same place based on Gino's experience.
Well, yeah, but that's what,
You know, it's
No.
honestly,
at this point, it's not just Gino's experience though,
No.
Steve. I mean, all of us have grown together in this,
No, I
you know?
understand that. I
Yeah.
understand that.
yeah.
I mean, Gino
But
just gave us the
I
roadmap.
can only
It's
look
the
at.
eye that everybody's trying to drop that gives us the perspective that we can teach others.
And you know,
Yep.
John, to be fair, also AA, you know, the practice is also based on many people's experiences. But
On what?
the whole point, right? It's more than one person's experience. And the whole point is, you know,
Basically, drop.
Listen, the only reason I'm bringing this up, Steve and guys, is because the way Steve was talking at the beginning of this, it was as if he was trying to get out of the whole alcoholic verbiage, like Gino was saying. It's like Big Pharma. They created those words. If you use binge and the words that you used to use when you were sick, how are you ever going to not be sick?
Good point.
That's 101 for me with mental illness. They teach you that you're sick first. You got to drop the title, guys. That's all you got to do. And then you update your own verbiage so that you're not calling yourself what you used to be trained to call yourself.
That's what we've done.
Self-love, right? Self-love and faith that in God, that everything, absolutely everything is fine all the time. And it's practice, prayers and faith.
And was very good point when John was talking, Steve, that's message for you. Your reaction. I hope, like I would say, you probably sense your reaction. Now, whenever Zoom is over and you are at peace, ask yourself why I'm holding this. What is that teaching me? Because then when you ask these questions to yourself, you let go whatever you're holding on to, what that conversation was.
Yeah.
Really, really powerful tool to let go what we're holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, honestly, I have to say, I give you credit. You have an amazing attitude, because when you get over alcohol, I totally understand. I have seen the attitude. Some people don't even want to discuss it, you know, with other people. Like it's, you know, and you are, I can, like, honestly, you are very healthy. You have a healthy attitude about it.
Thank you.
You are accepting other people's opinions. Some people don't even want to listen because, like you said, their lives kind of like were at big risk and they overcame that risk, you know. But now, like, I think the letting go of like the last parts of it, you know, it's about letting go, you know, of it's not easy for us too, you know. How many times did I say, you know,
Oh, no.
binge, I binge eat, I do this, I do that. It's the same thing with food. It's the same thing. So you're like, John, you're right. We like the word binge eating. I guess we don't want to be attached to that, right? Because that's putting ourselves down. We have to
We
love
shouldn't even be
ourselves.
saying it. We as us, Rana, shouldn't even be saying that stuff. We know better. I mean, I know it's hard because you try to like connect with people. Like that's why I still use certain terms when I'm like where I'm at right now. But I get away from it as soon as I can. And you know,
The more we catch ourselves, the more we will catch ourselves, right?
of course, you know, I mean, it's taken me a long time. Like, I don't know. You wake up to, for me, you wake up to the fact that if you look at your own life the way you are now, all of it was what gave you the ability to whatever it is that you're here for, whatever that may be. For me, it's people. It's really odd. So I'm just in a different place right now, but I give my energy to people. So what I've been doing is going to, because I have too much energy right now. There's too much going on. And it's the same way it's been my whole life for me. Okay. And everybody tells you to turn the thoughts off. It's not about, for me, turning them down anymore. I just turn the volume down and up and down.
Mhm.
And so now when I go out, like I'm in my old, everybody's talking about family and how hard it is and all this stuff. Yeah, guys, all of it is absolutely correct, but there is no limit. So whatever you're saying is the place that's where you think is it, you're just limiting yourself. So for me right now, I was late on this. It's just, everything is, when you have balance, it doesn't matter where you are. The people that used to trigger you will not trigger you. And all those issues that you think that
Exactly.
you have with your family, like, guys, the only reason I mention certain things now is because there's stuff going on. It's not an issue. But I sat with my dad in a car for 6 hours going to a funeral recently. And I didn't say a word. I'm the black sheep of the family, guys. I think everybody knows me. I've always been very open and honest. So I think everybody knows. So I say things assuming everybody knows what I'm talking about, but nobody ever has. And I apologize for that. Like, I know I have to, you know, because I comment, but I don't post. But my father said things to me that I didn't say a word. And he literally said things to me that I was like, you know, and then we went to have lunch and the bartender walks over and I go, I'm invisible. I go, don't worry about me. You know, I'm good. I'm fine. No water. And my dad goes, oh yeah, I'm invisible too, you know, and he gets his pasta fagioli and something else because he wanted to check out this Italian restaurant. So we're sitting there and he goes, you know, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like talking about this today. And he starts talking about it again. And I'm like, and you guys have no idea how we don't even have to put any thought to it, guys. You have no idea how much we're going to heal everybody just by being what we're being. Don't even talk about it. Don't even stress out about it. And we all try to, what's something that a lot of people don't realize, I just kind of thought of. Law of attraction. Everybody wants to law of attraction. Okay. They teach you how to manifest things in the physical, right? And how do you do that? You think about it, you talk about it in like you have it, and you imagine having it and all that kind of stuff. Why aren't you doing the same thing with your parents? Why aren't you doing the same thing with your family? Why aren't you doing the same thing with whatever it is that you want? Make it in your head first. It's not as hard. It's just your imagination. We don't have to go to another whatever, like everybody makes you think. They're just trying to have a client for life. It's just our imagination. Go somewhere else, you guys. Act like a kid. That's all it is. But you have to, the higher we get in the field, you have to make sure that you're grounded. That's where these other people are, where they can't connect with anybody. These are the guys that sit and smoke cigars and do nothing for 5 hours and people are enamored by them. You know, everything else that we know, guys, to this point forward, okay, we know plasma, you know, obviously it was out there, but every modality forgot the vessel, or they don't know how to do the vessel like we do. And I just came to the revelation too about ayahuasca. If anybody's interested in ayahuasca or whatever, yeah, go ahead, go do it. Okay. But the only time it's going to have a life-changing effect is if you've never done anything and let go of anything in your life, and it'll be shattering for you. Otherwise, it's just another day, really. Oh, I wouldn't say that, but it activates your pineal gland. Okay. It's an herb, it's a vine, just like what we use. Okay. And if you use too much, it's a poison, just like turpentine. So you take it, it opens up your pineal gland, which is your dream gland. and then you purge. So it's the physical, and that's how the connection works. Like it's MFS, but not as good. So, but I'm realizing now, looking at, because I'm going back down to Peru, but looking at ayahuasca art, if you notice, what happens is it's like a rainbow of colors, but it's like fluorescent colors around everything. So it's basically showing you that everything in this world has an energy, or what we like to call a field. Okay. And so, but you notice in all of the ayahuasca art, there's serpents in all of it. You know why, right? Because they're not cleaning the parasites out. It's not a clear channel. So until we clean the vessel out, anybody, whatever they're saying to you, if their channel has another name than themselves, then they need to clean their parasites out.
True.
It's not as complicated as we're even making it, really, once you get it. It's just getting there, you know, and it's breathing on the way there. What happens is when you start to open up, I don't know if you guys know this, I throw all these references out, but there's a movie called Goonies that Steven Spielberg directed a long time ago. It's about these little kids, and they're going to lose the house, and one of them finds a newspaper article about a lost treasure. Copperpot, some guy named Copperpot, right? And Chunk drops the frame with some, and a key falls out of the back or something, and they decide to go on this journey to save everybody, right, financially. They come to the underground. They come to a bunch of coins and stuff in a fountain, and a couple of the guys think they found the treasure. Okay, and they're like, yeah, woo, and they're looking, and then they realize it's it's Leonard Creek, where everybody throws their coins in to make a wish. So some of the guys are like, screw it, I'm taking this is mine, blah blah blah. And one of the girls says, guys, what are you doing? This isn't your dream. This is somebody else's dream, right? And then they continue on, and they finally find One-Eyed Willie's treasure. And Mikey goes in, he has a little talk with Willie, and you know, and then they come in to do it, and they go to take everything, okay? But Mikey says, no, not that. And they leave, because what he told them not to get was the booby trap for taking too much, basically. So basically what I'm trying to say is, when you start on this process, even for the rest of your life, when you start to feel really good, the universe, or whatever you want to call this, you get tested with things. We turn into magnets, okay? So all this good starts coming to us, and the bad, so you have to be wary. That's why I always, you know, try to, whatever. But, I don't know, I just lost my train of thought for a second, but it's fool's gold at the beginning. And I've done it so many times in my life, even before I found MFS, because of my old diagnoses and stuff. You start to feel better. For instance, my father recently offered me a job in something else, okay? Because that's the only way that he knows how to show his love. And that generation thinks that idle hands mean whatever, okay? So I said, thanks, Dad. But I know better, okay? Because that's what happens. You start to feel better. Everybody loves you. You want to go back into your family, and you want to do whatever it is that they wanted you to do in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. Years ago. Mm-hmm. And then 6 months later, you wake up and you're back in the matrix that you've been trying to get out of for whatever. So be patient, because I've done it too. You start to fast. Basically, you're just raising your field strength. So the more fields you get into, the more information you're privy to. And then when you get real high, all this awesome stuff comes to you. But if the people that are giving it to you don't come from integrity, or vice versa, or all that other kind of shit, it's fool's gold. So just be patient with everything, because it's coming. And then you realize you already have it. So the rest of it is really for everybody else to prove that you're okay. And that's when we master it. We shouldn't be, you know, that's when, listen, when we have billions of dollars that are in the MFS realm, and Inga's mother gets sick and she wants to fly home, yeah, go ahead, take it. Yeah. You know, and then Oliver Paul, if he comes back sometime, if we're, you know, he wants a pilot's license, he'll be the pilot. You know what I mean? Like, that's when we're going to know that we've mastered every level.
Jonathan, it's like, as I say, what is being given to you, don't get attached.
Well, yeah.
Use it and enjoy it, because one day that could be easily taken away.
My dad gave away my bed, Inga. I get it. I said to him, you know, Dad, you created the monster and you didn't even realize you were doing it, because he's trying to give somebody his stuff and I don't want it.
Right on theme, John. Exactly.
Cool.
You know, but it's all good. I'm going to make it. It's all good. It's all going to work out.
The the fool man's gold or whatever you called it. The
Fool's
It's-
gold.
fool's gold. It's all out there, man. Everywhere. All that marketing hype crap.
Yeah,
It's just everywhere. I fell for it many times.
right.
Gets you nowhere fast, right? So people will still fall for it over and over and over. And
You know, the beauty in it too, though, Gino, is that when you become when you have that look in your eye, like we all have had when we're deep in the fast, and people see it in you. People know. So I don't care if you're a girl. I don't care if you're 5'2". I don't care if whatever. You have a power within you that everyone else can feel, but certain people don't know that. So for an example, just to give you an example, I was in Topsfield Fair when I was roasting nuts for 10 days. And I look at everybody, and so I say, hey, I do it too much. I know I learn a lot, so I don't say hi to certain people these days. I get it. So, I use it by eyes. I don't think anybody's inherently good or bad or anything. I just look at it like everybody's obstructed. So I don't feel bad and think about how everyone's going rotten. I say, everyone's toxic. And when you look at people who are mass murderers, their picture from when they got arrested, their eyes are blacked out a lot of times. They're toxic. You see it, that's all it is. Everybody's awesome. It's just, they got a lot of caca in the way, right,
Yeah, man. You're right on the button.
So,
Obstructions will make people do crazy things.
I saw it today, guys, firsthand, because I'll tell you what I've been doing lately, because there is too much going on. So I have actually gone back into very grounded areas to ground myself instead of doing the music and doing all that, because there are times I've had too much energy in my life, not the other way. Okay. So, well, actually both. If I didn't have the energy, if I didn't feel the energy, I would be dead by now because I would have killed myself because of the depression, so it actually saved me in a way. But I went to visit some old people. So 10 years ago, time is pretty irrelevant to me at this junction. It's pretty much. And so 10 years ago when I lived in this town, all the older guys used to hang out. It was like a blue collar town, and all 5 o'clock, all the older guys would go and meet at the bar. And it's the type of bar where like a guy walks in and orders around for the bar. And they'd all just laugh, and it's New England, so everybody's thick-skinned and pretty miserable, really. And so they just shit on each other but laugh our asses off. So that's basically what I wanted to do, and I wanted to because these guys have been doing the same thing for 35 years, like most people. They take the same vacation every year, let alone, So I go to these places because they all know me, and I'm like, I walk in, and I didn't realize it, but one of the owners, I knew he's been sick, kidneys or something, and I had whatever. So I didn't realize how bad he was. So I walked in, and now the craziest part is that his son, who's 30 years younger, just had his thyroid removed, had chemo, and somebody said to me, yeah, he didn't even get sick. And I went, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, if he's that toxic that chemo didn't make him sick, that's scary. Wow. So Lou, the owner, and now just to give you an example, Lou is a well-dressed man. He used to sit at the corner of the bar and stuff, and just, and he was there at a spot, and I went over there to see those guys. Now I don't wear my contacts anymore, so I can see 6 feet in front of me, but I can't see detail. It actually helps too, because I see too much. So I walk over to them, and Steve's behind him, and the color of Lou, apparently he just got out of the hospital. Okay, he's gone. He's got there's no energy left, and it's all gone. And I was like, I walked over there, and his son was right behind him, and I looked at him, and I looked at Steve, and Steve was a shade just above his father. And I literally, I went, wow. I go, that hurt, and I actually did the same thing to one other place, and it was the exact same thing. And I walked around, and I noticed they have there's little cards from when you go to the funeral or the wake or the church, whatever it is of this, their death. And it's like, that's all it is all around here. And I'm like, the vibe is so low around here. It's sad. And that's typically, it's like the life cycle of restaurants or whatever, businesses, but I say restaurants, but you see it when the owner or the person who has the dream starts to die, so does the dream. It's crazy how life works. But I'm finding that if you're balanced, you can do the same things you used to do. We do have to change our life from A to Z, but there comes a time when you can go back to A to Z if you choose to. I don't know why you would want to go all in like that again, because eventually it's going to catch up to you. But you can play in these things pretty well. Just make sure that when you're dreaming, that's the whole thing with, like, people talk about astral projection, and you have to keep your ethereal cord or whatever. You want to stay connected, you don't want to lose it. That's why I told Ranjit to just walk around with one sock on, just to remind herself. It's not the actual thing. It's just, you have to stay grounded. That's why the younger kids and the people who haven't sort of been through life, like Steve and Gino, and you know what I mean? They don't know how to be grounded yet. So they're going so far off that they're actually that's why they're in psych ward. You know? Because they're going around, they're saying the wrong things. That's all it is. Because I can go around acting the same way, because I'm the same person. But I walked into these places, and it is amazing, though, talking about the triggers and stuff of people, because I'm getting much less. I try to do no emotion at all when I talk to some people, because I realize how much it's not even the words, it's the way you say it. We already knew that, but it's a little bit deeper than that too. It's pretty cool. But I was talking to somebody, so this is the craziest part. The second bar I went to had the second son who's sick too and looks the same way. No kidding. Okay. Now, none of the family stopped drinking. I think Lou did, but so Bobby, I know all these guys. So I started talking to these guys, right? And they're like, dude, where you been? They're like, you've been in jail for 10 years? What's up? Because I got long hair now, and a lot of these guys haven't seen it. So I'm like, no, man, what's up? What's going on? And I'm talking to him, whatever. And I actually went over and gave him a big hug and stuff. And I know that hurt. So what the problem with being so loving with a lot of people who have held on to it forever, like in what I'm experiencing, especially with tough people, they fucking react so negatively. And they do not. So I know people that cannot hug. So that's where you have to sort of just be careful with everything. And instead of letting that bother me, I know. So what I do is I back away or back off, regroup, and then go at it again if I feel like it, or, And so, but when I left, he was saying next to me, like, I realized how toxic he was, because he was like, yeah, dude, what's he looking for his next fix or something? Like, he's got to be fucked up. Like, it was crazy to hear what he was saying, And another thing we have to realize is that when we're magnets and we're out in public, depending on where you're at with this, a lot of the things that are coming into your head might not necessarily be your thought. So, and it's not in a weird way. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? I don't walk around like going, what? Huh? But like, when I walked into a place one time, and I'm not racist. Some black girl asked me recently, she goes, are you racist or prejudiced? And I go, what? She's like, well, I'm prejudiced, but I'm not racist. Yeah. So I walked into this store, and there was a black guy behind the desk, right? And I walked in, and the first thing that came to my mind was like slavery or shit, whatever. It wasn't my thought, it was his. Yeah. We have to be very aware of everything now. We gotta, it's just basically when you get that infinity loop to start working in your own body, that's when you can be anywhere you want to be, and you're fine.
Where you mentioned about, at the point you can choose to go back to A to Z. When you raise your field strength, none of that stuff will ever bother you again. Once you reach the level of field strength, nothing will faze you anymore. But
you laugh at it. That's why I have a sense of humor. If I couldn't laugh, I'm sure a lot of people who don't really know me think I'm just like there was a guy in the group a few years ago, remember Jeremy, or whatever, that funny kid that not everybody got? But my point is, I joke around because I've been through as much serious stuff as anybody else. And if I hadn't laughed, I'd be dead. Yeah. And it's all about perspective. I've said this before, but I've been in serious stuff, accidents, everything. And I've talked to people who are like, I'm like, hey man, how's it going? Like on New Year's. He's like, great. I've survived 3 near life, whatever I'm trying to say, experiences. And I go, wow. I'm like, well, what happened? And he says, well, I got in a car accident. And I go, oh, you count those? So if I chose to look at life that way, I have so many near-death experiences, but I never looked at it that way. I go, woof, thanks, or whatever, and it makes me realize now, like I was going to put a post up today. I actually wrote it out. I apparently didn't post it. So if we had a rear view mirror, or if we had a set of eyes behind our head and we saw what actually was, it was not like headed straight for us, that actually got beelined away or something deflected it or whatever it may have been, we would never doubt anything ever again, ever. We would always know that. And the beauty of it is that now that we know that there's other, we call, they call them worlds, but other fields, that's where everybody that you've lost, everything that has ever been is up there. You just have to make sure that you have one sock off.
Girls, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I wanted to share something. Actually, first of all, I want to say MFS Zoom is a very powerful tool. And before, when you mentioned it, like the support system is the key, I was thinking, what is he talking about? Because you mentioned the raising your field strength as well. And when your field strength is raised, as you say, you don't want to be socializing with anybody. You feel complete and no need to fit in or anything like that. And when you're not in that state, when you're not meditating, for example, that's what I do to get to those states. You are gonna need the support system. You're gonna need to be connected to Zooms and stuff like that. I mean, just like it's very inspiring to interact with you guys. The energy here is very powerful. And after the Zoom, I was connected the last time I was with you guys. The day after, I just felt like so better, and my overall mood like improved so much. And it totally changed my perspective about the Zoom calls and being with you guys.
Fantastic. I'm so happy.
Yeah,
It takes a while, right, for some people to start gaining a little bit of the understanding. Repetition is another skill. The answers are in plain sight, but we're blinded to them. And one day the fog clears and they're there. Holy shit, it was there all the time.
Yeah, sharing experiences, learning from each other,
yes, exactly. And it's like the perspective changes when people are meditative states. Like people look at the challenges as something negative. And when you're meditating, you're going to view them as opportunities. Definitely. Like, I remember having craves as when meditating, and I loved those craves because I was eating the crave. I was visualizing this orange cloud in my belly, and I was spreading it through all my body, and I felt the tingling sensation, and then I concentrated it between my eyebrows, and I felt like I was juicing some good stuff. Like, and I was drinking from the source, basically. This is how I loved craves. I loved all kinds of temptations. I loved getting in unpleasant situations, like so I could feed off of it. It was all energy. I didn't judge the energy as good or as bad. It was all energy. It was all good stuff for me.
Amazing.
And yeah, and I just think your meditation level should match your MFS level, and people try to go further than they can. I mean, people breaking the fast and they get caught up in craves, and they start blaming the fast, they start blaming the food, but it's actually like their mind, their their mind telling them, you ain't tricking me, you got to do the work first.
I love that. Beautiful.
That's just what I think people, you know, experience. And I think you should really approach this lifestyle holistically. You know, you can't be doing like, you can't be watching Family Guy and fasting. You can be like watching your favorite TV shows and drinking your juice, and you and thinking like you're gonna go somewhere. I mean, you can go somewhere, but it's gonna be a slow motion experience, like you say, you know. I mean, through the art of fasting and breaking the fast all over again, it's gonna refer you to your meditation, right? You're gonna life will happen to you if you keep doing the stuff like living the old lifestyle and fasting at the same time. It's not gonna go well for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fasting,
Sorry, can I interrupt just for a moment? Just that my heart just wants to speak to this gentleman. Eurus, I missed you when you were on Zoom the other day, because I actually went to church with my parents for the first time in about 25 years. And I came back and I watched Zoom, okay? And I heard your story at the end. And you were such a giver, like you're giving here at the moment. And what you went through, my friend, brother, okay, is absolutely incredible, okay? And I all in my body went through when I was listening to you. I felt you. I felt your beingness. You need to, I mean, I know you already know this. What you've actually achieved coming out from the other side of that experience that you had is absolutely beyond amazing. It's completely incredible. And you're coming out more stronger than what you actually went through. I don't know if people know your story, but they can go watch Zoom for it. And you're just going to be one incredible inspirational soul that's going to actually show so many people that what is possible. And you are a possibility of a soul that's gone through so much already, that is living here right now and living the path that you want to live and how you deserve to you have your human experience. And I love the way where you correlate meditation, spiritual path with the fasting path as well, because that is correct. You never need to push it. Okay, we just go with the pull of where we are spiritually in meditation and in the consciousness to where we are in our physical as well. Matt, I just wanted to say I really, truly love you. I think you're just amazing inspiration. I love to connect with you more. I like to talk to you more individually if that's possible for you, because you're just so truly amazing. The one thing I really love about what your story that you did the other week is that you just absolutely vulnerably, courageously, just completely gave everything that's inside of you. You showed up and you just poured it all out on strangers that you don't really know, the people that you are connected with. And that's such a powerful healing within someone's soul. And this is what MFS really does really promote, I think, is that intimate stuff that we've got deep inside of us, even in what Steve was talking about, even what John's talking about, Inga, all these people here. Because when you show up in that space of real deep vulnerability and ooze out everything that's inside of you, that's not just even yours anyway, it's everybody else's, because it's part of the consciousness and the collective, it's part of the ancestors, it's part of everything. When you do that and you go into that space and you do that from a place of love, the healing that happens in you is beyond what you can actually, you can actually imagine. And the fact that you're here now, going through what you went through, and you're giving back. I'm listening to you, you're giving back to this space right now, just shows you what type of human you are, what type of soul you are, what a courageous being you are. And may I say that we all freaking love you, and you need to be hear that. If someone hasn't told you that, you are beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I just need to say that I know people don't say things, and they need to say that to souls. Like even Steve, mate, I fucking love you. You know that. I know what you're going through, and all the people. I love my MFS family, and you come with me in the fields. When I go in the realms, you come with me, and I take you with me. And when I hear your stories, when I hear those deep, deep hurting stories, it's just so powerful, because we can all heal. When we heal and free us, we free others. So thank you very much, my brother. Absolutely adore you. You're beautiful.
Thank you so much. You're very inspirational, and I think you're the prime example of the people doing the work, and all the people that are doing all these long fasts and eating correctly, breaking the fast in the correct way. those are the people that are doing the work. And this is what this is what separates you from all of us who are struggling. Like you are definitely there. And I just want to say, I don't really regret sharing my story, but I don't think it's very I don't know how to explain. I don't think it matters, you know, because it's all drama. It's all drama for the mind. I mean, do I want to live in the past? No, I want to live in the now. I want to be present, and I want to create. I want to create situations where it's gonna be hard to be present. You know, I think that's the misconceptions people have about meditation. That it's a peaceful thing, that you have to sit in your meditation position and put some music on, or go out in nature and then do the meditation. And I would strongly disagree. Like, the best time for you to meditate would be like a panic attack or something. Same as like the best time for fasting would be when you have a flu-like symptoms, right? And in an optimal world, like in a perfect world, you would be meditating 100% of the time, same as you would be fasting 100% of the time, right? And yeah, and meditation will serve as an emotional pull. When you start to meditate, things will start coming up, definitely. And that's when the people actually break their meditation and think they did enough. And yeah, I just think, and yeah, John, you said something like you like giving energy to people.
Mm.
And I think that's where I don't think you should be doing that, because because you're not really giving energy to people. You're just wasting your own energy, because your mind desires people to be different, and you want to change other people, which you hardly can do. After all I've been through, I mean, I'm only 22.
No, well, I mean, in a material world, that makes sense. I just think I'm increasing the field strength of the environment, and then I take off. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say.
Realms.
You know, it's not even about like I've never needed anything. Most people think I'm a trust fund kid for some reason, or I'm rich. I've never really I made a point to not have anything, to prove to myself that I was enough, basically. So at this point, I don't need anything from anybody. So I don't know what I just like making people laugh, basically. So I don't know. I mean, if it's we're gonna, I guess we'll see soon. We'll see if I'm not, you know what I mean? If I go back down, obviously, shit, man, I wasn't ready for it. You know?
I actually have an idea from like evolutionary perspective how the human being works, especially when you're not in super conscious, like very deep into presence. Your subconscious mechanisms will work, and when you're in a group of people, like in social occasions, and you're with people who find your views inadmissible. Like if you told anybody that what you believe that are life principles, they would think you're crazy, right? And
the story that you told was I'm thinking back, but it was psych ward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been in a psych ward like 2 or 3 times. I think once the police put me there for 3 weeks. I have unbelievable stories about all this stuff. So I understand what you're talking about. I get that, all that stuff. So I've actually been through that already, in a way. So I've always told everybody everything. So even though I never hurt anyone really in the physical sense, I would tell everybody what I thought. So everybody, since I was born, like my nickname's Boner. Everybody, hey Boner, what's up? Everybody's like, oh shit. They know it's gonna be something. Like basically, when somebody tells me I'm out of my mind now, I take it as a compliment. So it just depends on where you're at in the journey as far as that kind of stuff goes. Because my family right now, who, like, that's why I said I'm the one that people are talking to and asking things of. And I'm not that guy from, like even in this summer, I was with some old friends from high school, and his mother was like, hey, John, you wouldn't mind driving, would you? And that right there, it was like, I almost started laughing because, it just comes full circle. It's totally different.
What you said earlier, John, just being in the presence of people and not saying anything. When your field strength is raised, you're helping them out.
Well, see, I said this to somebody too, like we're taught in the spiritual world, put your shields up, protect yourself. That's such a limiting way of feeling about yourself. But now, like Gina, when we raise our field strength, I'm deflecting them. I don't have to worry about them. They have to worry about me. And what happens is, when those parasites get acted up, the reptilian brain, or whatever the heck you want to call all this stuff, is what reacts, And if you're wise enough to know that it's what's inside of those people that reacted, you don't even have to worry about what that person said in a way, because it's not they didn't mean it in a way if they love you, But I get it, Euros. I mean, I've been there a lot, a lot. And like, some people are like, I don't want to give everything up. I've done that a lot. More than I've made a point to not let myself have anything in the past. It's pretty crazy how that's been working out. But, we don't realize how much we are holding ourselves back, whatever it is for each of us,
Euros, I'm very happy with what you said. It's such a smart thing to say, that your level of master fast lifestyle should match your level of meditation and basically openness to be spiritual, right?
Yeah.
And practice and pray, and and I totally agree with that. It is absolutely true. And when many of us did the long master fast, we got into this meditative state, and we actually, like many of us, not everybody, breaking it always is harder. It's always like brings emotions back. But yeah, I totally believe if you want to go for a longer, like let's say a higher level of massive fast lifestyle, just make sure to incorporate more meditation. It's not like it's impossible. I believe everybody can do it, but you have to incorporate more meditation. You have to you have to exercise that part. I don't believe it's impossible. I believe it's possible for people, even if they want to go level 7, which is a little bit, it's a little bit of a big change. Or even level 6 is also a big change. You just have to you have to calm the mind. You have to learn how to, take a little break and, for yourself, right? And meditate or pray. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's possible, right? It's possible for anybody to get into meditation, but they have to put effort to you can't just be extremely busy and extremely stressed out by so many different things, and expect to be able to do let's say liquidarian lifestyle, without putting more work on yourself, right?
Yeah, I want to mention something. You can't really work all the time or be surrounded by all those people like you would never want to socialize with, and corporate environment and stuff like that, and live the lifestyle 100%. It will be very hard. You gotta find time for yourself, man. You gotta be alone.
So gradual change, I would say. because it
Oh.
Yeah,
takes
but
change.
outside will change after you change inside. Like peace
Mhm.
comes inside out. Yeah, it's like meditation will pull all the stuff out and make your outer world match your inner world. And like I wanna share actually my story how I mean I'm not sure if it's a good time right now, but I remember when I had this Kundalini awakening, just like my mind was blown, like literally I was out of my mind. And uh, the morning after, I didn't want to eat. Day after, I didn't eat. 2 days after, I was a 1 meal a day vegan. I didn't read about the stuff. I was a sad diet all my life before that, and my outer world intuitively started changing right after I got into meditation. And I was in meditative states, ecstatic all the time. And food was grounding me, and food was making me this comfortable. And fasters, when they're breaking the fast, after feeling so light, after having no temptations, like when you're fasting, you're not gonna have temptations. Um, and you ingest that low vibrational energy, dense frequency stuff, your body will and your emotions will match those dance frequencies, right? You're gonna feel pretty bad, and people are not gonna want to feel that way anymore, not after the long fast feeling so amazing. And I wanna stress that without temptation there is no salvation, as you know, in Christianity, for example. You have to feel temptations.
You're human.
You need to channel them. You need to. That's the only thing that is gonna make you stronger and make you like viable for this lifestyle. You even so when you're fasting, you need to create some discomfort. You're gonna do those cold showers. You're gonna do those I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're gonna go outside of your comfort zone. You're gonna do it every day, constant effort. There's no, there's no like day off from this lifestyle.
Yeah, and there is no perfection. Like, I mean, you cannot be perfect, right? You will always be challenged, and you'll have to accept the challenges, no matter what level you have reached. And that's great. But I guess you will. The more open, the more balanced. The I guess the more balanced you are, the more you can face these challenges and deal with them. The higher your level with this whole meditation and fasting, the better you can deal with challenges, and the more you see them as opportunities to grow even more. Actually, it's beautiful, right? Because without opportunities to grow, I guess we die. I don't know, right?
I just think of it as food. The temptation is my food when meditating.
Opportunities.
It's like I remember doing when I was fasting. I remember that I was like naked in the grass, lying in the grass, and like on grass basically, and I was letting all those ants and bugs crawl over me, and I was all itching. I wanted to scratch, right? And I was creating that discomfort, and it's not like I'm masochistic or something like that, but it's um, it's very it's very important to make yourself outside of your comfort zone, and you just let that completely take over you. And I don't know, I can't describe that it's basically food. It's I basically get energy from it. I don't know how to explain it.
Beautiful. Great. So they're opportunities. You see them as opportunity to become a better person. To
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve, I wanted to say for I know how like I think I was on the same, you know, like we are very similar to you in terms of like wanting to go liquidarian, but I just want to say more a bit about it, you know, because you know now I'm doing, this is the second week, 1 day a week of eating, right? And it's Sunday. Monday is always more difficult, and even Sunday evening, you know, after I eat, and then next morning is more difficult, you know. And sometimes you think like, why am I doing this? I might as well not eat, you know. But after, you know, after the, you know, the morning on Monday, you clean yourself and you get back on the fast. Honestly, it feels like after a day or two, you feel like I'm looking forward to eat again. And the food is, the cravings are definitely cleaner. And you know, there's like there's looking forward for, it's kind of, it is a challenge, but maybe you know, you choose your challenge, you know, you make it a milder one. It's always hard. Listen, it takes a long time to balance yourself. It's always hard at the beginning because you have to clean up the first few days. I would say after 3 days you feel much better, and then your mind can think better. It really can work better. But the, you know, the first day also there's still stuff inside. So as you clear and clear and clear, you can make better choices about like. So be patient. It's always hard at the beginning. It's always hard to get back on track. But don't give up on food.
Oh, no, never. Oh,
Don't give up, you know, even on food. When I feel, you know, the healthiest way for me to move to let's say I want to do liquidarian one day, is to let go of even the food that I like loving, this love, you know, it's but it's love. Let it be love, you know, the food, our attachment to the food, let it be love. And then you decide that I want to let go of this thing that I love, not this thing that I hate or this thing that makes me feel uncomfortable, but this thing that I love and enjoy. I don't feel it serves me anymore. So like in a very peaceful way. For now, I mean, I'm looking forward to eat tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to eat tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll cry, but not cry, but you know, I'll feel very uncomfortable. But I'm really looking forward to eat tomorrow, and I made sure that the choices this week will be better than last week. Yeah. Maybe eat less. Maybe I will eat less this time. Yeah, I'm more strict with the time, not to eat the whole. Like last time I ate within 3.5 hours. So this time I want to be like, you know, even less than that, you know, so that I'm not eating all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
it's hard. No question.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's very hard.
At the beginning. Get used to it. I would say after a few weeks of doing this kind of lifestyle, let's say you do 1 day a week of eating within only 3 hours. It's not much. After a few weeks, you'll be like, wow, I love both fasting and eating. And that's what we want to say. We want to say we love both experiences. And when you let go of one of them, let it go with peace and love, you know, as well. Yeah, I mean, I've done this a couple of times before. I've done 90 days where I ate 1 day a week. And, you know, you have to be comfortable with it. I mean, at the end, again, I gave up kind of, you know, the emotions take over. Don't let them take over. We have to be balanced. We have to meditate. Like Euros mentioned, we have to be at a level where we are strongly balanced, you know, where like you don't fall on your face. But so I guess I wasn't strong enough back then when I fell off after 90 days.
Right.
So I will not give up. I get back on and do another 90, maybe 108.
Wow.
I keep going.
I need a long break again. That's that much I know. So, from eating, I need a long break from eating.
Yeah, do 6 days.
No, I need a long break.
No, trust me. You don't need a long break. No, you're good.
Hi guys, can I say something?
Trust me, you're good.
Mhm.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just pertaining to this, Steve, I was the exact same way when I first jumped back into master fasting about 12 days ago. I was determined I needed a long break from eating. I just wanted to be liquidarian for a while or full master fast for a while. And it was hilarious because it felt like I had set my mind to like a 40 day, like I have done one 40 day before. And I was like, that's it. I'm setting my mind. I'm going to do it. But I noticed that I was being pretty like, in my head about it, like pretty strict. And I said, no, I should try to take it day by day. Like a part of me said that, but I still had it in my head. And I saw Rana, I saw you for a colonic on day 7. And all of a sudden and I know I did a post about this too, so you might remember if you saw my post, but all of a sudden you're like, well, are you ever going to eat again? And I'm like, well, definitely. Okay, well, if you're going to eat again, you should probably just practice eating and fasting. She goes, why don't you eat today? What do you got going on? Do you have work today? And I go, no, I'm not doing anything. Can you go out and get some nice fruit? We had some persimmons, some local persimmons. And oh my God, out of nowhere, I just switched. And I was exactly like you. So yeah, maybe try to see how you feel every day. I support you, whatever you decide, Steve. But for me, the eating for the 3 days was needed. I realized afterwards. It's a little tough to do the enemas, hey? Anyone have experience like, you were on like a longer fast and then all of a sudden you're eating and then you're doing enemas. It's very painful.
Can be, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, the food. It's annoying. But, I did the 3-hour time frame where I did the fruit. The first day I broke, I just did fruit. And then the second day I did the fruits and then a salad. And a little bit of cooked veggie, just like for the emotions. I love cooked zucchini and like, I even treated myself to some cooked squash. And I'm just like new to the fat free. And usually I'd be like, a little coconut milk with the squash or drizzle a little olive oil. But I did stick fat free and I'm happy with myself to be experimenting at this level now. So anyways, best of luck to everybody. Best wishes, I should say.
I'm so proud of you. You did it.
Thanks. It's hard. I just started dry today, my 24-hour. I break it tomorrow. But like out of nowhere today, I just like wanted to give up. And I like what you were saying, like you said something about this. Like the minute you want to give up, that's like, your soul knows like that's the challenge and if you're committed to challenge and growth, you'll get through it. So it's not an option for me to break yet. I want to see if it gets easy, like you're saying, Rana. The longer you stay on a lifestyle, it gets easier, right?
The first, always with for me, when I did 1 day a week, the first few weeks were always hard, and many times I have broken them. But yeah, once you get used to them, it's a challenge. When you get the challenge, it's an opportunity. Okay, it's an opportunity. Take it as an opportunity. Meditate on it. Say, okay, this is the challenge that I have to overcome. This is my time. Get over it, and then continue. It's really, we're usually not hungry when we break a fast, right? We're usually not hungry. We're usually just emotional.
Sorry, I love saying goodbye. I actually have to go, and I might come back if you guys are still on. But thank you for everyone for sharing and giving, and love you all, and have a fantastic week. I'll see you on the page. God bless you all.
Love you, Ranjit.
Love you. Mwah, mwah.
Yeah, funny enough, you're speaking about hunger. I got a little hungry yesterday. So it was like, I did the 3 days of eating and then that was 2 days of juice. So the second day back into the juice. I started to like feel, and I go, oh, that's not hunger. That's just the animals wanting to get fed, or something's going on in there. And I just made sure to have more juice, and then I felt a lot better. And then I ended up at a sound healing with like crystal bowls and like this like medicine woman. Like, it was amazing, all different instruments and 2 women singing. Actually, it was 2 women. And it was just very healing. So sometimes like to just sit and meditate might be hard for people, especially if you're like really energetic, or if you're like me and you're an overthinker, your mind's pretty busy. It's hard to just sit. So sometimes like a physical yoga practice is a form of meditation, or you could do like restorative yoga or yin yoga. So your body's in poses. So it's like something to kind of keep you engaged, I guess you can say. And I really love sound healings. Those are my favorite meditation. Anyone here into sound healing?
432.
Yeah, I love music. Sorry, I just almost went off the road.
Be careful, John. Uh-oh, is it another exit?
It's okay, I'll never, all right, I gotta stop. I'll never go in a car. I already know that. It's okay.
Fasting is a meditative state, first and foremost, spiritual journey. And when you can make eating a meditative state. Some people get scared the way I eat. I had a friend that used to scare me the way he used to eat because I couldn't keep up nowhere near him. I'm in my meditative state. I'm enjoying myself. When I'm eating, don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm enjoying myself. And for other people, they see it at whatever, because they have their own preconceived program of how it's supposed to be. Enjoy yourself, whatever it is, and don't worry about it. Embrace it and allow yourself to enjoy it. Whatever it is, the fasting state, the eating state, sleeping state, the dumping state is another joyful experience. Getting your colonic or whatever. And you have a huge release. Oh, well, So, we can make every state of everything we do in our life a meditative state if we consciously put our energy into it and enjoy it. When we've eaten a little bit too much, like I was saying earlier, just switch the state. Okay, I've done that. I enjoyed myself. Now I have to go through this, but I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. I know what to do to deal with it, and I'm going to come out stronger. And just run with it. Don't let any of these things scare you, or stop you, or put energy towards it, and because we're all going to go through different stages of it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's all part of the process. I look at the things that have been promoted out there in the last 30 years, and sometimes, people will be a little more committed if they have to spend a lot of money in things, but it doesn't last for long. They attribute, that exchange, that something's going to happen because they've spent money or whatever. It's that, that little thing you do every single day, going towards your focus, your clear focus every single day. You're working on it, and you're putting the time and energy into loving yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you ain't going to do it. Ain't going to do it. You're going to make up all the excuses. We can make encyclopedias of excuses, right? We can write tons of volumes of encyclopedias of all the excuses. There's no end in sight. But throw them all away, and let's start writing encyclopedias of why we want to continue on the spiritual path. Like as Ranjit said, there's one reason, to get closer to the divine, and that was enough for her. And look what she's doing. One reason. One. And then people have hundreds of excuses not to do it. So look at the perspective of how, from the successful people doing it, thriving, versus the people who are just complaining and and so on and so forth. So
Yeah, you have to be ready. I guess the spiritual change is maybe the most, I don't know, is kind of scary for people, and emotional.
we haven't been taught these things, at least most of us. We haven't been taught.
We have seen people come here wanting to heal a sickness, cancer or something.
Better you go to a cancer place because we don't believe in those things.
And that doesn't work really. Master Fast doesn't work. It's a lifestyle, and they have to go at their level. If they can't, they can't commit to even level 1 as a lifestyle. I don't see how.
So you do 108 days, you feel great, and then you go back, and you're dead in a few months. So what's it going to do for you? It's not a lifestyle. What's the point, really?
And if the tumor is or whatever, the body is full of tumors, and for them to heal, they have to go for a deeper, higher level of lifestyle. And they don't want to go for a higher level lifestyle, then you really can't help them. You can't help them; they'll die. It's just that simple. They're not ready to change. So they
gotta make the decision to let go of that fictitious disease
state.
I
think it's important for them to know the options, what the options are. It's hard also to say, which level is best for anyone. People know their level, right? You can't tell them. It's really, so you can't tell them. You can't tell them, okay, you have to do this, let's say 5 days of Master Fast and 2 days of eating for the rest of your life. For you to get rid of that type of cancer or whatever. It's impossible. They have to decide, and maybe it's time, their time is finished. And even that they cannot commit to, we see it. Many people are not ready. And Master Fast is not a place for you to heal a certain area. It's a holistic, like you said, it's a holistic lifestyle. If you don't take it like that,
way of life,
it's not going to work for anyone.
You embrace it or you don't. 108 days, you're going to see miraculous things happen, but what are you going to do after? That's always the question. What are you going to do after? 30, 40, 108 days, 200 days, what are you going to do after? If you have not embraced it as a lifestyle,
don't do it.
No point. No point. No point doing it.
Yeah, it's too big of a change.
Joy, exactly perfect. We are true food addicts. Our minds convince us of patterns and habits rather than us controlling our minds. Someone once said we need to be a good boss to our mind. Treat it like we pay it a salary to work for us. It's a good visual. Yep. You're in control. The spirit, soul, mind, it works for you. Exactly. So,
we can be true addicts or we can be free.
Joy's
so it's
left.
Up to us.
Oh, she's still here.
Yeah. So it's up to us, really. Again, it's like we don't want to be labeling ourselves. I think it's important for us to be gentle. Yeah.
The monkey mind, if you allow it to control, you're doomed.
Yeah.
Doesn't have your best interests.
Gino, I thought your monkey ran away. You haven't said that in a while.
I found him a little bit too last week. He came back.
Yeah, I know. I have a bunch of them.
Yeah,
I was just at the zoo. It was kind of funny, actually. It was cool. The monkeys are the maniacs.
Yeah.
There was one cage of monkeys that were battling a couple. I mean, it sounded like, who knows what. It was funny.
Yeah, we love our monkeys.
Yeah, you got to. You got to. They're a heck of a lot like us.
Monkey see, monkey do.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm texting, driving, and watching. So I'll see you guys soon. I love you. Love you guys.
Love you. Ciao.
Hi, John.
How are you doing, Angelica?
She frozen?
Maybe.
I think she's gone. She's frozen, definitely.
That's hilarious. Right when you asked Angelica, I was just thinking, I want to know how Angelica's doing. Angelica, come back to us. You're frozen.
Internet challenges. Anyway, if anybody else wants to share something, or we can call it a close. It's a blast, as usual, having everybody on board and inspiring and supporting each other. Oh, Angelica's on. Okay.
I'm here. I don't know what I did. I pressed something on my phone and the video was gone, but I could hear you.
Yeah, we can see you now and hear you.
I'm doing well. I'm doing my thing. I'm, just figuring out my rhythm here, tweaking things because I'm watching my grandson and he's growing up and he's, needing me more. And so I need to work with that and figure out how to make both things work, my time and his time. And
you said grandson?
yes,
oh.
My 7-month-old grandson. Yeah, I loved what you said, Rana, about food. You were talking about food and how in the beginning, after breaking a fast, the master fast, it's we realize how much we love food. And I've said this before, I don't like to eat. It doesn't make me feel good. And yet, my mind still hasn't stopped thinking about processed foods. And I watch it, and it's like, wow, this is just so interesting how I'm craving it. And it's gotten easier, but it hasn't gone away completely. And I think it's a process and it's going to take time. And I'm right now I'm riding a wave. I feel good. And messages galore. I want to share them, but I also find that sometimes when I share them, they kind of back off. So I'm trying to figure out, do you not want me to share them? Or, because they're just so priceless. I'm just having a lot of clarity. Like, things are coming back. When I had my spiritual experience back in 2008, everything was clear and everything mattered, but it didn't matter. And I just watched everything. And so when I went through the opposite experience, slowly but surely things started closing. My mind became very foggy. Slowly but surely, to that point where I had a lot of trouble thinking. And now it seems like those things are starting to reverse. And when I get clarity, when I get messages, I know exactly. Well, not only do I, and I'm sure this is with everyone else, those messages are just so intimate that we can relate to them emotionally. And we just know those messages. And when I get those messages, I know them, and they're so familiar because they've been there before. So just in a good place, just trying to figure out, like I said, my rhythm and eating and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So you're balancing both fasting and eating at this point?
Yes. And I'm still doing, you know, three, well, it would be level 4. No, that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, I get confused, but I'm eating three times a week, sometimes 4 and rarely 5, depending on when the full moon falls that week. And then like a couple of days ago and yesterday, I thought, you know, I'd love to move up to just eating maybe, or making it official where I stay at level 4. And then all of a sudden I thought, no, you know what, leave it alone. Right now with my grandson, I you know, and I know I probably sound like it's an excuse. I just don't want to create something that's not necessary right now. So I'm okay with where I'm at, and I look forward to officially making it level 4 soon, and then, or 4 days of eating, so that would be level 3.
Yeah.
And then and then, you know, wait a little bit. I don't know how long, but and then move up again. So there's no rush. And Gino, I love that you're constantly reminding us to connect to the plasma field, because it's starting to click. All of a sudden, I'm connecting. I go outside of my mind. I'm not in my mind anymore. I can see from outside of my mind. I've become the observer.
Right.
And I needed that. I needed you, or, you know, I needed to hear it. And now it's becoming more natural. So yeah, things are good. Things are good. And if I'm kind of quiet, I apologize. There's so much I want to share. And then at the same time, it doesn't matter. It's like they're just words, and I love silence. It's so powerful to me. Although at the same time, it's like I end up keeping the knowledge, and I want to share it. So I guess it's just going to be a matter of time.
Yeah.
When I share.
When you're ready, do what
Yeah.
feels comfortable.
Yeah. And I guess I just got used to it too during, you know, that spiritual experience I had. I only really shared when it like my mouth opened when it needed to open, and to like joke around. So those were the only 2 reasons why I verbalized things. Otherwise, it was just living in the fields, really. So anyway, I love you guys. I love you, Ron. I love you, Gino. I love everyone on here. And I thank you all for the beautiful support that we have here. And it's food for my soul to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
True nourishment is what we're all lacking, and that people look at it to try and solve it with food. And
yeah.
You're gonna get.
You know what?
More.
I like that. I like replacing that. It's nourishment for my soul. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta keep that emotional state balanced, and it's always going to be changing. So we work towards balance in the emotional state. You know, like the elegant dance with the stars. It's
yeah, like yours said, it keeps you alive. Right?
Yes.
All these
Yes.
challenges, ups and downs keep you alive.
Yes. And you know, I'm finding that even what I would have called challenges, are they really challenges? Are they really? I mean, the mind says they're challenges, but are they really? If I focus carefully on whatever's going on in my body, it's actually just as powerful and beautiful as, you know, the happy times. it's just so much questioning that I'm loving it, and I'm enjoying that. It's like this switching, there's something's happening, and I'm all right with it.
That's great that you're questioning it and saying, is it a challenge? For, if you talk to somebody else, I've done that. There's no challenge. And you talk to somebody else, holy Mac, that was crazy. But
yes.
Well, is it the challenge? Exactly. Keep questioning things. And that's the way we move up and expand ourselves. And then you're going to see, for some, they do 3-day dry fast. It's like, holy geez, right? And then either you get to a 4-day, a 5-day, and 6-day, and then you look back. 3 days. How come I seeing that was such hard? What was blocking us, or making us believe that was a challenge? It was something in a belief system because we didn't experience it. But as we expand ourselves, we'll see that everything's freaking possible.
Yeah.
Everything's possible. I'm not gonna say ever again that nothing is possible, and that something isn't possible, because we've seen so many breakthroughs in the history of just our lives, of things, records and things being smashed and broken, that in my mind right now, in my being, I can't see that there's a limit to everything. It's only our belief system has to be uplifted and graduated, or what do they call it? What do they use in computer terms? Upgraded? Upgrade the program? Upgrade to the new program. So now we're into the 4-minute mile was at one time, that was the program. That's it. Man couldn't go fast in 4-minute mile. And then they broke that, and now they're at, what are they at again? 3.5 minutes or something to do a mile, the record, whatever.
Wow.
So is that the limit now? No, somebody's gonna break that. Somebody's gonna break whatever record is out there. Somebody will break it. It's gonna happen. When doesn't matter, but it's all in the belief system. Like I was talking earlier about the Iceman. They smashed everybody's belief system, and even their own. They said they were going to do it 3 days. They did it in 2 days. Come on, man! Could people do that in a diseased state? Absolutely not. They have to leave that state behind in order to accomplish that task of climbing that mountain in 2 days. There's just no freaking way they could have brought that disease along with them. Think about it. And that happened when? In an instant. They made a decision, and then they put themselves in that state to accomplish it. So everything's possible. Everything's possible.
Right. And the challenges, they can be broken down even more, not just goals as in challenges, but like when I've had like a certain sensation, what I would have called pain, is it really pain? Or is it my mind just in such a habit of saying, oh my God, that shouldn't be there? Is it really what the mind is telling me, or is it this beautiful sensation that's there?
That's why the word healing reaction, I don't want any part of that. This is no healing reaction. Healing crisis. It's not a crisis, it's a healing reaction. The body's healing itself. It knows what to do. The crisis thing, that's treatment stuff. The body's, what the hell are you doing here, man? I got to try and survive this. So we leave the healing crisis alone. We left that. We don't want to deal with that stuff. Where it's a healing reaction. And it feels like a pain, whatever. But if you've ever gone through something like a pain in a joint, and it just comes on really strong all of a sudden, and then it's gone in hours or a day or so. Gone. Forever. And that shoulder's stronger than it's ever been. So, we interpret it as pain, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a wonderful experience when you move through it.
Yes. Just when it comes up too, it helps me like, ooh, what's this? Let's, let's check it out.
And stand back and and analyze it and look at it and watch it, but don't be part of it. Just let it happen. Embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The other
it's,
thing that you brought up too is about that instant, that making that change in the instant. There was a training company I used to work for, and the trainer used to talk about making decisions that when do they happen. And he used to ask the audience, who here has, you know, has gotten mad with someone, you know, with a spouse, for instance, or whatever, whoever, a relative, and who here has held that grudge for 1 year? Some people would raise their hand. And how about, you know, until he'd find the longest year, 10, 12 years. And then, part of the question was, who was upset with that person and no longer is. And so, you know, some people had up to like 10, 12 years. And so his point was, okay, so how long did it take you to let that go? And they said, well, that long, 10, 12 years. And he's like, nope, it happened in an instant. It took 10 to 12 years to work your way there. But the minute you decided to let go, it was instant. So I get what you're saying when you say that.
yeah, if we only knew. Yeah, it is what it is, right? It takes decades to go through things sometimes, whatever, but it really is that instant time.
Yeah, yes. What got me into a really good perspective of my life is that listening to other people's stories, sometimes, you know, I've listened, I'm like, that's exactly where this person is supposed to be. Nothing different. The timing, Momo passed away. Everything that led to it had to be exactly as it should have in order for him to pass away in a timely, at the exact time he was supposed to, or what have you, whatever we go through. And the minute, and I went into a deep thought or a deep meditation on that. And the minute I was able to put that thought onto my life, it's like, wow, here I am driving. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Or, you know, whatever situation that happened to me, it's exactly as it's supposed to be. MFS, that everything I've gone through with it, all those messages that I've sent you, they're exactly how they were supposed to be, and no different. And how do I know they're no different? Because that's exactly how they happened. You know, so this has been such a beautiful journey. And yeah, lots of learning.
Yeah, we're all learning. I've never seen anybody with all the answers. You know, the more we know nothing. So we continue and enjoy the journey. It's we can have a blast doing it, and that's the beauty. We don't have to be in misery. We can have a blast doing this journey.
Yeah.
Just enjoy every moment of it, because we know that everything's possible. We know without doubt. I don't have any doubt anymore. The things that we've seen, my goodness gracious, everything's possible.
It is.
All right, guys, we want to call it a close.
Sounds good.
We got our fill.
For the week.
Awesome. So
Thank
thank you, everybody, again. And
Thank
a few of
you.
us have dropped off, and that's fine.
And thank you guys, especially from Europe, Inga and Euros. Thank you so much for staying up.
Yeah, and there was
So lovely to have you.
was it Christine?
Christine too.
She's from Germany, I believe. She was on for a while. I think her mother's in the hospital. send her some plasma love, some beautiful healing field strength to her mother. I think she mentioned she had lung cancer in the hospital. I think it was Christine. I've seen it on her private Facebook page. So it's a challenging time when a loved one's in these situations, and that's the path they've chosen, right? And so it's not easy on anybody, but we're gonna have to go along and accept and support as best we can. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Guys, good night, everyone.
Everybody. Good night.
Keep that plasma love flowing.
Good
Ciao,
night.
ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Love you all.
Love
Good
you.
night.
Ciao.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Hi, Eros.